Hello, I am so happy that you're here with me today, and I am excited to share with you it's time to shine, how to live your highest and best self 90% or more of the time. So, we all have that inner voice and self-talk that goes through our head. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so great, especially when something bad happens. We get into a fight with a significant other or a friend. We disappoint a customer or a boss. We hear the answer no, and we miss a goal that we've been working towards. And before we know it, our brains start saying things to us like, you should have said that. You should have done this. They don't like me. I don't know enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. They are going to leave me. How many of you can relate to that voice? Well, I call that voice the itty bitty shitty committee. My name is Brigette, and I've been a small business owner for over 15 years. When I owned a salon, I was recognized as a top salon owner in North America for 13 years in a row. The work that I've done in my professional business life had led me to become a professional coach and consultant to business owners and leaders, or for people that just want to get out of their own way. I have coached hundreds of people to have 30 to 50% growth in revenue, even in a pandemic. And that had them lead to having more profits in their life and living a life they love. My journey has been one of a roller coaster. In the midst of owning a very successful business, I found myself going through a really nasty divorce, which led me to being in $1 million of debt. I got breast cancer, and then I ended up filing bankruptcy. I started beating myself up. How could you allow yourself to marry someone like you did? How did you not even know what was going on behind your back? Even though bankruptcy was the right decision to make, and it was highly advised by attorneys, mentors, and family, it completely derailed my confidence. I started living in survival mode and in depression. I had lost all of my power and joy. I would have this running joke that I would want to get a lobotomy because my negative emotions continued to take over me and take over my show. And then one day I woke up and I decided to reclaim my power. And I was like, this way of living is not living at all, and tell the itty bitty shitty committee to take a back seat. I have been practicing coaching since 2012. And in my continuous study of practicing timeline therapy and NLP coaching, I finally gave myself the quote unquote healthy lobotomy. I finally put my negative emotions to rest, let go of all my limiting beliefs, empower my thoughts, empowered my actions, and started choosing to live my life as my highest and best self, which is also known as our essence. I'm so happy and joyful right now. Sometimes I want to pinch myself. This is for you if you've been feeling burnt out, stuck, or even miserable, and you're having your negative self-talk and that negative baggage running your show. This is also for you if you're really ready to live your life by design and take control. I 150% believe that you have the power to shift your mindset, eliminate negative beliefs, behaviors, and emotions, and choose to live a life you love 90% or more of the time without sacrificing your sanity or your paycheck. And this is exactly why I'm so excited to share this information with you today. So today we're going to discuss to tell the itty bitty shitty to take a back seat because their job is done here. While people pleasing pleases no one, and believe me, I used to be the queen of people pleasing. How to recognize your essence and live your highest and best self. And when it's okay to fill up your cup first. And let me tell you, it's actually always. Specifically, what I'm going to discuss today is the biggest reasons why we get in our own way and allow the itty bitty shitty committee to run our show, why this is so stifling to our growth and our ability to have and get what we really want in life. And I'm going to share with you a few tips to get started to shifting your mindset so you can come closer to living in your essence. Today, I'm going to teach you as much as possible with the limited amount of time I have together. And then I promise to show you how you can even take it further. So please hold your questions to the end so I can give you as much as possible today. Okay, so let's get into it. So you've heard me talk about the itty bitty shitty committee a few times. So first, let's actually talk about what it is and why it exists. The truth is, the itty bitty shitty committee has been with us since children. However, it wasn't always there. We have developed it over time. Many of us know babies or have babies in our lives somewhere. It could be your own baby, your sibling's baby, a cousin's baby, your friend's baby. And when we look at a baby, especially a happy, smiling baby, what do we see? And I want you to visualize a baby that you know right now, okay? So think about it. When you look at that baby, you're looking at that baby's eyes, what do you see? I've asked hundreds of people this question, and the answers I usually get are they see joy, trust, happiness, curiosity, love, possibility, confidence. Babies typically are pure bliss. Babies live in their essence, which is also their highest and best selves. Then that baby starts to grow up, and he or she is a toddler. And now what do toddlers normally start to hear? No, don't do that. Get out of there. Then the toddler keeps growing up, and what do toddlers normally start to hear? No more no's. They get judged for their grades. They possibly can hear inappropriate comments from teachers, right? They keep hearing, stop that, don't do that, right? They get into mischief, and now sometimes they're getting grounded. And that toddler grows up and is in junior high and in high school. And what do we all experience in high school? We start getting judged by our peers. Are we cool enough to be in that clique? What are we being classified in? Are they going to like me? Right? That peer pressure goes on. Sometimes bullying can occur. Believe me, I don't know about you, but I had my fair share of bullying before and of the mean girls, right? And like, what cliques are you going to even like fall into, right? So we also start to date, and then we possibly get our hearts broken and we get hurt. And then we're watching movies, TV shows, reading magazines. We're being so influenced by society all over the place. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's really, really negative and gossipy, right? So these experiences from growing from a baby to an adult have created what has been called our defense mechanisms, AKA the itty bitty shitty committee. They are designed to keep us in our comfort zone and playing a small game. It's kind of like this weird way of like protecting us. Even people with the most quote unquote perfect upbringings experience negative things and create survival mechanisms. If you knew me 15 years ago or more and a breakdown happened, I would either start to cry because I wanted you to feel sorry for me or not be mad at me, or I would rip your head off, or I would get really defensive and I would go completely radio silent on you, and I would avoid you like the plague. If any of you can relate to any of those behaviors, and let me know that I'm not alone in this life, put in the chat, yes, Bridget, I can relate to you. All learning, behavior, and change is unconscious. Truthfully, they are mainly embedded in our unconscious minds, and we are not even aware of it. Have you ever found yourself going from one relationship to another? You go to work for another company, you're going from job to job, and that you find that you're still experiencing the same types of patterns and behaviors. You've changed the scenery and the people. However, you're still getting the same results and experiences. The problem is that our negative behaviors and thoughts are so embedded in our unconscious mind, we are not even aware of it. I have been practicing coaching and consulting work for over 15 years. And seriously, guys, it is so ingrained in our unconscious mind, we are not even aware of it. These behaviors, learnings, and patterns, and like all the change that goes on. Okay. And I wish when I told you my running joke was to get a lobotomy because my negative emotions and people pleasing were running the show. Like, I really wish that was a joke for me. I constantly was saying to people at times, people that were close to me, like, sometimes I wish I can have a lobotomy because I can't shake these negative feelings. They were dragging behind me like a ball and chain, and I couldn't even let go of them. I couldn't even quiet my mind down. And until I started practicing the work of NLP, coaching, and timeline therapy, my mind finally started to let go of all that crap and have mental freedom. It was pretty awesome. One of my clients, Annie, is experiencing that right now. I was on a call with her last week, and she shared with me, because of the work that we've done together, she had the most amazing Mother's Day ever. And in the past, she would have been really triggered by her mother and her family, and it was really due to past events and past traumas. And because of the work that we did together, she now is feeling so free. She had the best time with her mother and her family, and she was completely accepting and having a great time. She said it was the best Mother's Day she ever had. I do have permission to share this with you because I do hold confidentiality to a highest degree, and it is very sacred to me. When I start working with you more closely, we start to clear the negative emotions, starting with anger. Then after anger, we work on clearing out the stepsisters' sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. Fear and guilt are probably the two most useless emotions that we carry because they impact our health in such a bad way. They cause us to have unnecessary stress, which can impact your heart, it can weaken your immune system, and it can cause disease. What I do want to share with you, though, is even though we're clearing out those negative emotions, no one becomes a zombie and is void of feelings. The best way that I can describe this is if I was angry in the past about something or had fear or guilt, it would hold on to me for days, weeks, months. Sometimes it felt like an eternity. And if I shared a story with you in the past, about the past, it would be almost like I would be reliving it all over again. And actually, the emotions became even worse, and sometimes they were even heightened. My anxiety used to be so high, it would be literally living on my chest. Now, since doing timeline therapy and the work of NLP, I have got to let go of those emotions, and now I get to actually feel my emotions in a completely different way, and I get into action around them, and I let them go pretty much right away. So if I get angry, mad at you, it's probably going to be for about 5 minutes, and then I think about it a little more, and then I let it go. It's pretty cool. So negative emotions gone, yay. Like that woman with freeing of the chains, like I can't tell you how much I feel like that woman right now. All right, so let me talk about essence and what it is. Essence is living at your highest and best self. Another way to look at it is that we can come from two different places. We can come from fear or we can come from love. Fear is our survival mechanism. Who we are and our true essence is really like when we were babies is all still inside of us, And we get to have the power to choose over and over and again and get connected to our true essence as who we were as a baby and get to live our highest and best selves and loving our lives. I know this because I had to choose over and over and over again. Outside of choosing my essence is getting outside of my comfort zone. What is the definition of insanity? I asked this question to thousands of people probably by now, like all across the country when I've been training. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? It is said that 90% of the population is choosing to live inside of their comfort zone. So 90% of the world is insane. It's kind of a joke, right? But let's just, make some light of this too, right? The World Happiness Report has also stated that in 2019, unhappiness in the world was on the rise. Then we entered 2020, we were struck with a pandemic, shooting unhappiness even higher. What this is telling me is that there is a ton of room for growth in the happiness department all around the world. And the more you get to know me, the more you will see that I push myself and my clients to get out of their comfort zone and to seek out opportunities for growth and abundance. The biggest thing I believe is that every person we touch is a ripple effect onto somebody else. The happier we are, the more we spread happiness and the world becomes a better place. Kind of like that song, Put a Little Love in Your Heart, and then the world becomes a better place. I would sing it for you, but I'm not the best singer. So how many of you know that song? Okay, so let's all stop being insane and get sane. You guys down for that? All right. So for me, choosing my essence every day, even in the face of a breakdown. My essence words are light, grace, strength, and charisma and wisdom. When I choose to come from one of these words, my being starts shifting and I get to create more power and joy for myself. When we choose to change the way we think, the itty bitty shitty committee no longer takes over the show. Through this practice of choosing my essence, getting outside of my comfort zone, and filling up my cup, I've been able to forgive my divorce, become a cancer warrior, and get complete with my bankruptcy. These are just breakdowns that happened in my life. They are not the things that define me. And life is a roller coaster. So just like that blonde in the cartoon, I say, let's enjoy the ride. One of the things I used to love, like as a kid, was going to Great America and getting on the roller coaster and sitting down and hearing that person say, enjoy the ride. That was actually one of my dream jobs when I was growing up. So if you want to have more peace, love your life, live through power and joy, and be your highest and best self, I have tips for you that can help you start to explore what your essence is. Everyone has their own unique essence, and I love coaching my clients through my Power and Joy mentorship program. Timeline therapy is for when you work with me more closely, and we don't have time to get in that today. So I'm going to share with you a few steps so you can get closer to living in your essence. One of my first steps is just the practice of noticing when you get triggered, have that higher level of awareness. So are you getting mad at something? Are you getting upset? It's stop, notice, and just reflect and take a pause. Okay. And then from there, we can start choosing on how to react. So I'll give you an example. So in the past, if one of my employees came to me, and especially if it was a confronting conversation, I normally would go rip their head off. I'd rip their head off and I'd be in defense attack mode. Then I started learning to pause, stop, listen to what they were saying so that I can start understanding where they were coming from, think about what I was going to say, and then from there, I would start sharing my thoughts. telling you, I know I'm really big on meditation these days and practicing just taking deep breaths in and out. It's unbelievable how much just stopping and breathing supports you on just getting connected to your essence. And then the thing I really love, and I'm always working with this myself, these are some of my best practices, is filling up your cup. If we are depleted and our cup is empty, we have nothing left to give. So if you knew me about 6 or 7 years ago, I owned a salon, so salon owner, still doing hair. I was a mentor coach in 2 coach training programs. I was working for a consulting company and traveling all around the country. There were times when I would find that I would be working, I'm not even kidding, probably at least 16 days in a row without a day off. And as much as I loved what I was doing, I found that I was getting depleted, and then my anxiety level started going up. And just as I started taking things off of my plate, because I knew it was getting too much for me, the universe came and gave me a big slap on the wrist and was basically saying, Bridget, you really do need to slow down. And that's when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I cannot express to you enough how much filling your cup up and self-care, how important it is. So stay with me a little longer because I have a little more to share with you. So please join me at Coach Bridget Sobis on Facebook and on Instagram. And there you will find more tips to support you on getting connected back to your essence and have the itty bitty shitty committee take a back seat once and for all. We covered a lot today, and I know that it's not easy to make change. So I decided to offer something pretty cool for just this group that's listening and watching. It's an opportunity to have a private one-on-one power and joy breakthrough session with me at no cost. As you can imagine, offering one-on-one sessions takes a lot of time. So I have 10 openings for those of you who would like to book right away. The first 10 people who qualify will be able to get my Calendly link, answer a few questions that I'll share with you so that you can qualify, and you'll be able to schedule with me right away. And if you're reaching out to me and I reach back out to you and I don't hear from you within 3 days, your session will be given to the next person on my waiting list. There's no cost involved, and it is a $497 value. But there is one catch, and that's you do need to qualify. So I'm going to talk to you exactly about how you qualify so you can secure one of those 10 spots that I'm giving away. This is my invitation to go ahead and go in my Calendly link, fill out the questionnaire, and then once you fill out the questionnaire, then you can schedule a time with me. Okay. It's okay to multitask if you're, watching this right now, because I want to make sure that you secure your spot for a power and joy breakthrough session. The outcome of our call will be that you will discover what negative emotions and limiting beliefs have been getting in your way and what you can do about it. And you will finally get clear as well on what you genuinely want in life and what you can do about that as well. So let me tell you about how to qualify for one of those sessions. You are ready to have a life by design versus default. You are ready to tell the negative self-talk, AKA itty bitty shitty committee, to take a back seat. You are ready to let go of that ball and chain negative emotions that have been running your show. And you're ready to have peace of mind and mental freedom. And I promise you this, even if we never talk again, you will get clear and at least what negative emotions and limiting beliefs have been stopping you and getting in your way, and what you can genuinely want in life and what you can do about that. I recommend that you take action now. It upsets me when people are emailing me because they missed out by not filling out the questionnaire in time. I like to make sure I have time to focus on each individual, so I have openings for 10 qualified people. If you are listening to the recording, don't worry about that at all if the sessions are taken. Apply anyway. And let me tell you, there's many people out there unfortunately, that don't follow through. And then I want to make sure that you are the next person that I contact. I know this may not be a concern for you, but sometimes people worry that I'm going to try to sell them something. That's not my style. Of course, if you want to learn what it would look like to work with me, we can certainly discuss that on the call. However, my main objective is that you walk away with getting clear about what negative emotions and limiting beliefs have been stopping you and taking over your show. Discover what you truly want out of life and what you can do about it. Okay, now that you have a way to get more immediate help, let me show you about the exact systems and the steps that you need to master to have long-lasting power and joy in your life. So let me share with you my unique branded system. It's time to shine. The first steps is that we look at how we're going to shift your mindset and discover what you want in life and where you want to move and what's been getting in your way. A lot about what we have talked about today comes from this step. Then we're going to hammer down projects that you want to create in your life and get moving. Then we're going to innovate a plan for each step. We're going to get clear visions on your projects. We're going to declare your what by whens. We're going to have your SMART goals. We're going to put your SMART goals into your future. Then we're going to navigate to each of your milestones as your highest and best self. We're going to clear out those negative emotions and clear out those negative beliefs. My biggest practice that I love to do, my style is ontological coaching, is who we're being, NLP coaching, and timeline therapy. We're really going to look at who are you being, how you're showing up, how you're going to be your highest and best self, having accountability. I know for me, I have to have accountability partners and mentors and coaches outside of myself, because sometimes I just can't be left to my own devices, right? So we're going to check-in sheets, requests, tools, and then you're just going to have everlasting action so you can stay unstuck and keep moving and create a life by design. If any of this is a concern for you, or you'd like to see more specifically on what it would look like to apply this to your life and business, I highly recommend you grab one of these Power and Joy breakthrough sessions on my Calendly link. Remember, this is for the first 10 people that qualify. So go to my Calendly link, and at least minimally, you're going to find out what negative emotions and limiting beliefs have been stopping you and getting in your way, and what you can generally do about it. Once you submit your form, you'll qualify, and then you'll be able to schedule that session on my Calendly link. Please, if you need to reschedule, please take that on. And if you miss your opportunity, I'm going to give it to the next person on my waiting list. So secure your spot right now if what I shared with you spoke to you. It's a $497 value, and it's my gift to you for being on this training and listening to this today. The one thing is to think about change. It's another to be an actual step towards it. I believe it's no accident that we are here together today and that you are watching this. So if you believe that too, I look forward to our next steps together. And then I want to leave you with this quote. She felt something click inside. She suddenly realized she was no longer available for careers, relationships, or thoughts that were not in alignment with her highest expression, desires, and truth. Her worthiness has grown roots, and she was now unshakable in the belief that she was worthy of a life of magic. And she knew that the only person that could give her that was herself. So she put on her crown and she got to work. Thank you so much for being here. And I really cannot wait to meet you one-on-one and have our own one-on-one Zoom time.